let's start with polysaccharide. Polysaccharide. What is the meaning of poly? Poly means many and saccharide means sugar molecule. See what happens? Many monosaccharide unites, or you can say combine together by condensation. Condensation means water loss takes place till a large chain or molecule is formed. That large chain is called as polysaccharide, and this process is called as polymerization. Means what? See, when many monosaccharides combines with each other, how they are combining with each other? As there is formation of glycosidic bond, they get combined with each other by the process of condensation. Means what? When one monosaccharide combines with another monosaccharide or reacts with another monosaccharide, water molecule or condensation takes place. Water molecule is lost or condensation takes place. In this way, many monosaccharide combines with each other and it forms polysaccharide. This process is called as polymerization. Polymerization means when many monosaccharides combines with each other to form polysaccharide molecule, that process is called as polymerization. When these polysaccharides are broken down by hydrolysis, many monosaccharides are formed. Naturally, the opposite thing also we can do. When many monosaccharide combines together to form polysaccharide, when polysaccharide is broken down, naturally when this bond is broken down or when they are broken down, naturally they can again get converted into monosaccharide. So monosaccharides can be converted into polysaccharide and polysaccharide can be converted into monosaccharide. But one thing you have to keep in mind always, that when one monosaccharide combines with another monosaccharide, water loss is taking place, condensation is taking place. But when one disaccharide or polysaccharide is breaking down, then water is required. That is called as hydrolysis is taking place. This thing you have to keep in mind. When attachment, when joining is there, water molecule is lost and there is formation of bond. When this bond breaks, when water is required, water enter inside, this bond breaks or it disappears and the monosaccharides are forming. Then the properties or the functions of polysaccharides are dependent on their length, branching, folding and coiling. The properties or the functions of polysaccharides are fully dependent on their length. They differ from their length. Okay, they differ in their branching. If it is branched, their function will be different. If it is unbranched, then its function will be different. It is dependent on their foldings. Okay, how many loops are there? It is depending on their coiling, how much coiling is there. Okay, so the property or you can say the function of polysaccharides are not similar. They are dependent fully on their structure. Now, polysaccharides are of two types. There are two types of polysaccharide. One is called as homopolysaccharide. Another one is called as heteropolysaccharide. Homo means what? Same. Polysaccharide, poly means many and saccharide means sugar molecule. When the many sugar molecules are of one type only, suppose all are of glucose only, this is of glucose, all are of glucose only, one type of monosaccharide, then it is called as homopolysaccharide. If heteropolysaccharide means, if this is glucose, this is galactose, this is sucrose, means if they are different. Hetero means if the saccharides, if the sugar molecules, this is glucose, this is galactose, this is sucrose, this is glucose, galactose, this is fructose, if they are different from each other and they are forming a chain, they are forming polysaccharide, then that is called as heteropolysaccharide. So in easy way you have to keep in mind, homopolysaccharide means when the saccharides are of one type, when the monosaccharides are of one type only, then it is called as homopolysaccharide. When the polysaccharides or the monosaccharides are of different type, then they are called as heteropolysaccharides. So here we have studied about polysaccharides. Now let's study few examples of polysaccharides. First example is starch. Starch is nothing but polysaccharide. So let's start with polysaccharide starch. First example is starch. Food stored in plants is nothing but starch. Starch is what? Starch is nothing but it is the polysaccharide which is stored in the form of it is the food which is stored in the plants. It exists in two forms. One is amylose and another one is amylopectin. Starch always exists in two forms. What is starch? Starch is nothing but, what is starch? Starch is nothing but it is the food which is stored in the plants. Starch always exists in two forms, that is amylose and amylopectin. Now, first we will study about amylose, then we will study about amylopectin. Now see what is amylose. Amylose is unbranched polymer. Unbranched polymer means it is like this. No branch is there. It is in straight form. Amylose is unbranched polymer. While you can see here, amylopectin is branch polymer, means like this. Here one branch is there, now here like this. Okay, here branch. Amylose is unbranched polymer, that is it is straight, it is single chain like this. Okay, it forms helical structure, means sometimes it forms this spring like structure. It forms helical structure, means it undergoes coiling and forms colloidal suspension in hot water. Colloidal suspension in hot water means what? If this amylose is kept in hot water, it makes the hot water thick and yellowish in color. Okay, so what is amylose? Amylose is unbranched, it is straight, it is single chain, but sometimes it undergoes coiling, means it forms helical structure, and in water, when it is placed in hot water, it makes or it forms colloidal suspension. Colloidal suspension means it makes the hot water thick and yellowish in color. Amylopectin. Coming to amylopectin. Amylopectin is nothing but it is the branch polymer. It is having branch and it is completely insoluble in water. While this amylose is soluble in water, while amylopectin is insoluble in water. So here I have taught about starch. Starch is the food which is stored in the plant. Starch exists in two forms, that is amylose and amylopectin. Amylopectin is always unbranched. It is always straight single chain and it forms helical structure, means it forms spring like structure. It is soluble in water and when it is kept in hot water, it makes the hot water colloidal suspension. It forms the colloidal suspension, means it makes the hot water little bit thick and yellowish in color. While when I am talking about amylopectin, it is branch polymer. Okay, and it is completely insoluble in water. So here we have completed starch. Now let's start with another example, that is glycogen. Glycogen is nothing but the food which is stored in the animals. The food which is stored in plant is called as starch. The food which is stored in animals is called as glycogen. Glycogen is the amylopectin. Amylopectin with very short distance between the side chain. It is nothing but amylopectin. Okay, glycogen is nothing but it is amylopectin which is with very short distance between the side chain, means now see, this is the polymer. Okay, now this here the side chain is there, in between the side chain very small distance is there. So it is glycogen is amylopectin, not amylose. It is amylopectin with very short distance in the side chain. Then glycogen is stored in the animal body. Just now I told you glycogen is always stored in animal body, particularly in liver and in muscles of animals. Okay, where it is hydrolyzed as per the need of need to produce glucose. Glycogen is there, it is present, but it is getting hydrolyzed. When the cell requires glucose or when the cell requires energy in the form of glucose, what happens? This glycogen molecule, which is polysaccharide, it is broken, it is hydrolyzed, means water is added over here, bond is broken down, and they are supplied to the cell for the energy. So here we have completed about glycogen. Now third example is cellulose. Cellulose is the polymer. Polymer means poly means many, mer means molecule. So cellulose is nothing but it is the polymer. It is made up of straight chain of beta glucose molecule. It is made up of straight chain. Cellulose is like this. Okay, this is polymer. It is made up of straight chain of beta molecules. As I told you, beta molecules means what? Beta means, always you have to keep in mind, when hydroxyl group is present on the right hand side, then that molecule is said to be beta. When the hydroxyl group is kept to the left hand side, or when the hydroxyl group is present on left side of carbon atom, then it is called as alpha. Okay, now, so cellulose, what is cellulose? Cellulose are the polymer which is made up of straight chain of glucose molecule. Many glucose molecules, when combined together, when they are forming a straight chain, then it is called as cellulose. What is their function? Cellulose helps to form cell wall in plant cell. In the plant cell, this plant cell is made up of cell wall, or it contains cell wall. This cell wall is always made up of cellulose. Because of this cellulose, the cell wall becomes more tough, because the cellulose are much tougher than the cell membrane. So cell wall in cell membrane is more tough than this, cell wall is more tough than the cell membrane. Why? What is the reason? Because the cell wall in the plant is made up of cellulose. That's why the cell wall is always tougher than the cell membrane. So this reason you should know. Cell wall is always tougher than cell membrane, because cell wall is made up of tough material, that is cellulose. This toughness, why this cellulose is too tough? This toughness is due to the arrangement of glucose units in the polymer chain. Okay, how they are arranged? What type of arrangement is there? Just see, the glycosidic bond is present between first carbon atom of first glucose molecule and fourth carbon atom of second glucose molecule. See what it means. Suppose this is the first glucose molecule. Suppose this is the first glucose molecule, the bond is present. Suppose this is the first carbon atom and this is the fourth carbon atom. 1, 2, 3 and 4. The bond which is present between the first and the fourth carbon atom, this makes this bond becomes tough. When the bond is present between the first carbon atom of first molecule and fourth carbon atom of second molecule, then this bond is very tough. Okay, that's why the cellulose molecule is very tough in nature. So what is the reason why this cellulose is much tougher? This toughness is because the arrangement of glucose molecule. In glucose molecule, the glycosidic bond, what is the pattern of glycosidic bond? The glycosidic bond is present between the first carbon atom of first glucose molecule and between the fourth carbon atom of second molecule. And because of this arrangement of glycosidic bond, the cellulose molecule becomes more tougher. This is the first reason. Second reason is this bond is called as beta 1,4 bond. Beta 1,4 bond means, beta means the hydroxyl group is present on the right hand side and the bond is present between first and fourth carbon atom. That's why the structure of the cellulose is very tough. And also due to the presence of hydrogen bond between the sugar molecule, the hydrogen bond also makes the cellulose very strong. So these are the two reasons why the cellulose is very strong in nature. And because the cellulose is very strong in nature, the cell wall in the plant cell is very tough. It do not allow any bacteria or anything to enter inside the cell. Hence the cell wall in the plant is very tough, which do not allow the bacteria to enter inside the cell. So here we have completed about cellulose. Now let's see the biological significance of carbohydrates. Biological significance means biological importance of carbohydrates. First point is carbohydrate supplies energy for metabolism. Carbohydrates, these are the carbohydrates. Carbohydrates are broken down into glucose, and glucose provide energy to the cell. Why the glucose is supplied to the cell? For doing metabolism. Metabolism means for doing different metabolic energy, for doing different metabolic activities. So in other way you can say carbohydrate supplies energy for metabolism. Then glucose. Glucose is also the carbohydrate. Glucose is the main substrate for ATP synthesis. Because of the glucose, when glucose is getting degraded by the process of glycolysis, here continuously ATP synthesis is taking place. So what is the importance of glucose, that is carbohydrate? Glucose is the main substrate. Because of glucose only ATP is generated. ATP is generated means energy is produced. Another example is of lactose. Lactose is also carbohydrate, which is lactose is the sugar. It is a carbohydrate which is present in milk. It provides energy to the lactating babies. Lactating babies means the feeding babies. The babies which are fully dependent on mother's milk, they are getting energy from this lactose only, which is present in the mother's milk. Then next one is polysaccharide. Polysaccharide means like starch, cellulose, etc. What they are doing, they help or they serve as structural component of cell membrane. Means polysaccharides like cellulose or starch, they are responsible for the formation of cell membrane. They are making the cell wall very tough. They are forming the cell wall. They are making the cell wall very tough, and also they help in reserving food in the form of starch and the glycogen, and time to time it is provided to the cell. So here we have completed significance of carbohydrate.